All right, there's Alex. There's Alex down at Harborfest with your clipboard, ready to go. And I saw you're off the ship now. How are your legs? Are you steady there?
Yeah, well, I've actually been on the ship I'm not joking. I've been on the ship too many times. I don't even remember how many times I've actually been on the Kalmar Nyckel, because I've basically been on this tall ship. I've had the honor of riding this basically ever since Harborfest came back from COVID-19. So I'm practically one of the crew members at this point. I shouldn't even be wearing a 13 News Now polo. I should be wearing that baby blue Kalmar Nyckel polo. But yeah, this is, in my opinion, one of the best, if not the best. I think this takes the cake in terms of the highlights for Harborfest when it comes to the kinds of ship you could see. So my photographer, Michael Woodward, is doing a great job of just showing how beautiful this replica ship is. And so a little history about this ship. You're going to notice it's very visually appealing. It's something that just stands out even for a festival like Harborfest. And the reason is because this was a Dutch-made ship from the 1600s, and it was actually sailed by Sweden hundreds of years ago. And so the history behind this ship, and you can see the crew just kind of decompressing from the parade of sail from earlier today. The interesting thing about this ship, again, one of the many that you will see here at Harborfest this year, is that this ship essentially established what is modern-day Delaware. So when Sweden was establishing colonies or here in what is current-day America, the first place that they came to was the Wilmington, Delaware area. So this ship had a major influence in developing the Mid-Atlantic region as we know it. And you can see that it's very colorful. It's the most colorful ship here at Harborfest, in my opinion, and it's not just because of the blue on the outside, but there's a lot of intricate details about this ship, and that is a nod to the original Kalmar Nyckel, and it is a nod to sort of the European style in which a lot of these ship makers would design these ships with a little bit more flair. They wanted these ships to stand out. And, you know, there's just so many fascinating things about this ship. And another thing, too, is that all the rope line that you see here, I've been told, and it boggles my mind every time that they tell me this every year, there are 8 miles worth of rope and line here on the Kalmar Nyckel replica. And you would think, okay, well, it's all just for show. But it's not. Actually, all of the rope that you see here, all of the line that you see here serves a function and essentially serves the same function that it did hundreds of years ago in the 1600s when this was a Dutch warship. So obviously, modern day, they now have a motor and a navigation system. But pretty much, I was told by a crew member that if you took a sailor from the Kalmar Nyckel from the 1600s and plopped him on this replica of it, in theory, he could actually sail this boat because all of the lines are exactly the same. All of the manufacturing, all of the design of the Kalmar Nyckel is pretty much an exact replica. The only difference is that they obviously added a motor, they added a modern-day navigation system, but even the steering mechanism that they use, this is a ship that is so old that it predates steering wheels, right? So there's no steering wheel that you'll find on the ship. What you'll actually find is something that they call a whipstaff, and which is essentially just a large stick sticking out of the bottom of the deck that a crew member is turning left and right in lieu of a steering wheel. So right now, this is Delaware's official tall ship, and it's now used for educational purposes. It's used for festivals like this, and all of the crew, or at least the people in the blue shirts that you see here on the deck, this is the Kalmar Nyckel's dedicated volunteer staff. It takes about 24 people to operate this ship, even though it does have a motor, but to get all the lines right, to drop the sails the way it's supposed to be, it still takes roughly 24 crew members, and many of them, as you could see, are volunteers who simply just love the lore of tall ships, the history of colonial era ships. And I did find out, Janet, today that you only have to be 14 years old to actually volunteer to be a crew member on the Kalmar Nyckel. So if things go horribly wrong for me here at 13 News Now, because of how often I've been on this ship, I think that they would gladly accept me as a crew member.
All right. Froze up there a little bit, Alex, but it sounds like you have had an absolute great time on that ship. I'm not sure if they would let him steer that. I know he says he's been on the ship a lot and that they would probably welcome him as a crew member, but probably not to steer. Yeah, that ship built in 1625, not that one, obviously, but the original Kalmar Nyckel built in 1625, and I believe it was, it sank in action in 1652. Alex, I don't know if you're still there, but I do see a lot of people on the ship because they are going to have public tours of some of the tall ships that they have coming in. They already had the parade of sail. That was at 12 o'clock today. We did air it live on 13 News Now. But the ships will be open for public tours from approximately 3 to 6 o'clock today, okay? And from noon to 6 on Saturday, and then noon to 6 on Sunday as well. And the ship tours are free and open to the public. And they recommend that you wear flat shoes because there's so much like climbing and steps and whatnot. So you got to be careful. And strollers are not permitted. So the entry and exit ramps are not designed to accommodate wheelchairs and walkers or other mobility aids that require a flat surface or a handrail. So keep that in mind. But otherwise, get out there and enjoy the tours of these beautiful ships because you can learn a lot about history, not just about American history, but world history.